The Odyssey, humanity's most ambitious leap into the silent, star-dusted unknown, glided through the vast cosmic ocean, its advanced engines humming a gentle lullaby against the infinite blackness, carrying a crew dedicated to the ceaseless quest for understanding, for pushing the boundaries of what was known and touching the very edges of the mysterious cosmos, a journey that had until now been largely routine, a methodical mapping of distant nebulae and desolate asteroid fields, a slow dance with the predictable rhythms of the universe, but all that was about to change in a way no one could have possibly foreseen, for deep within the ship's core, its sophisticated sensors, usually so calm and reliable, suddenly shrieked a warning, a cacophony of alarms echoing through the quiet bridge, jolting Commander Eva Rostova from her comfortable seat, her eyes snapping to the main display where a chaotic surge of unprecedented energy signatures flared, red and angry against the cool blue of stellar charts, signaling something profoundly wrong yet intensely captivating, an anomaly so vast, so utterly alien, that it defied every known scientific principle and every established law of physics. Emanating from a previously ignored ancient nebula, a swirling, ethereal cloud that had long been dismissed as just another beautiful but ordinary cosmic dust bunny. This wasn't merely immense. It was structured, almost alive, pulsing with a primeval hum that resonated not just through the ship's hull, but seemed to vibrate deep within the very bones of the crew, a soundless whisper that promised secrets beyond human comprehension, a siren song echoing across light years, pulling them in with an irresistible gravitational pull of curiosity. And as the Odyssey's long-range scanners, struggling under the strain of such an immense and unknown force, began to resolve details within that enigmatic cloud, a collective gasp rippled through the bridge, for there, nestled within the nebulas, Hart, slowly emerging from the swirling cosmic mist, was an object of impossible scale and inconceivable age, not a starship as they knew it, nor a planet, but something else entirely, a colossal organic form, petrified and ancient, resembling less a creation of technology and more a chrysalis of solidified starlight and ancient dreams, silently enduring for countless millennia, utterly devoid of any discernible lights or communications, yet thrumming with a dormant power that pricked the skin, making the hairs on their arms stand on end, a phenomenon that simultaneously terrified and exhilarated them, promising to rewrite every textbook, every theory, every assumption humanity had ever held about the cosmos and their place within it. Commander Eva Rostova, a woman forged in the crucible of countless close calls and improbable discoveries, felt a chilling dread intertwine with an unparalleled excitement, a paradoxical mix of fear and wonder that tightened her stomach, her mind racing through every known scientific paper, every historical encounter, finding no parallel, no precedent for such a monumental presence, realizing that this wasn't just another uncharted system. This was a doorway, a threshold into the utterly unknown, a profound mystery that beckoned with an irresistible pull, and her command chair, usually a source of calm control, now felt like a throne on the precipice of an abyss, her gaze fixed on the main view screen where the titanic structure continued to grow larger, its sheer scale dwarfing their own vessel, rendering the Odyssey into a mere speck of dust against its ancient, silent immensity, a stark reminder of humanity's relative, youth and the grand tapestry of existence. Yet it was that very youth, that unyielding spirit of exploration, that insatiable thirst for knowledge that now drove them forward, pushing aside the natural human inclination towards caution and self-preservation. The bridge, usually a hub of quiet, efficient activity, had fallen into an almost reverent silence, broken only by the low hum of the ship's systems and the soft, urgent whispers of the science team analyzing the deluge of impossible data, their faces illuminated by the eerie glow of their consoles, reflecting a mixture of awe and nervous tension, for every reading, every projection, only deepened the mystery, confirming that this object, whatever it was, had been dormant for longer than human civilization had existed, perhaps for epochs stretching back to the very dawn of the galaxy itself, and the fact that it was suddenly, inexplicably, radiating such immense, structured energy now was a chilling thought, a silent question mark hanging in the cosmic void, begging to be answered, beckoning them closer to its profound secret, a silent invitation to unravel a truth that could either elevate humanity to unimaginable heights or expose them to dangers beyond their wildest nightmares. Yet the choice, in the heart of every explorer, was already made. Set course for the anomaly's center. Commander Rostova's voice finally cut through the tense silence, clear and steady, betraying none of the internal turmoil that churned within her. Her words a quiet command that carried the weight of destiny. And across the bridge, her crew responded with a quiet professionalism, their movements precise and practiced, each officer knowing the immense implications of their decision, their hands flying over consoles as they adjusted vectors and recalibrated thrusters, aligning the Odyssey with the heart of the Enigma, the ship shifting its trajectory, slowly, deliberately, as if preparing to merge with the very fabric of the unknown, its engines humming a deeper, more resonant tune as they began their momentous approach, leaving the familiar, comforting patterns of charted stars behind, venturing into a secret that had been whispered by the void for eons, now finally revealing itself to curious eyes. The silence grew heavier, thicker as the Odyssey pressed deeper into the swirling nebula, the ethereal mists clinging to their viewports like an ancient shroud, obscuring the distant stars until they were completely swallowed by the glowing, swirling cloud, leaving them in a world of alien beauty and profound isolation, where the only light came from the nebula itself, and the faint glow emanating from the colossal organic form that now dominated their forward view, its immense presence filling their vision, its ancient, weathered surface marred by cosmic impacts, and the slow erosion of millennia, yet radiating a profound, almost sentient calm, a patient watchfulness that seemed to stretch across eternity. And as the Odyssey drew closer, closer than any living being had ever dared to venture, the true scale of the structure became horrifyingly clear, its vastness almost incomprehensible, a silent titan asleep in the heart of a cosmic storm, its secrets waiting, its power stirring, promising to change everything they knew and leaving the crew suspended in a breathless moment of anticipation, poised on the very precipice of the greatest discovery in human history, an encounter with the heart of a mystery that had slept for eons, now slowly, majestically awakening. The Odyssey, now a tiny sentinel against the vast ancient hull of the colossal organic structure, initiated its careful docking sequence, thrusters whispering softly as the ship meticulously aligned with an enormous, jagged opening that seemed less like a planned entrance and more like a wound, a tear in the living, petrified flesh of the cosmic Leviathan. Yet it was the only way in a dark maw promising either revelation or ruin, and as the docking clamps engaged with a faint shudder that resonated through the ship's decks, a sense of profound awe settled over the crew, for they were no longer just observing. They were entering, stepping across a threshold that had remained sealed for countless millennia, venturing into a place where time itself seemed to fold in on itself, where every shadow held a secret and every surface hummed with an untold history. The airlock cycled with a soft hiss, the final barrier between humanity and the heart of the enigma, and Commander Eva Rostova, her face grim but resolute, led the small exploration team, Dr. Iris Thorne, the xenolinguist, and two seasoned security officers, Cale and Lena, into the cold, silent depths of the alien marvel, their flashlights cutting through the oppressive gloom, revealing a world unlike anything they had ever imagined, a universe within a universe, sculpted by an unknown hand, vibrating with a life force that was both alien and strangely familiar. The immediate interior of the structure was a labyrinth of crystalline, biological pathways, their surfaces slick and cool to the touch, pulsing faintly with the same strange, vibrant energy that had been detected from afar, a soft, internal luminescence that seemed to breathe with its own rhythm, casting long, dancing shadows that played tricks on their eyes, making familiar forms appear menacing and unknown shapes almost alluring, and the air, though breathable, carried a subtle, earthy scent, mingled with something metallic and sweet, an aroma that hinted at deep-seated organic processes and ancient, dormant life, an aroma that tightened the throat and prickled the senses, intensifying the feeling of stepping into a forbidden, sacred space, a place where the very concept of life was perhaps redefined, where creation had taken a path utterly divergent from humanity's own understanding, and as they moved deeper, guided by the strongest resonance of the energy signature on their handheld scanners, the pathways began to narrow, then widen, undulating, gently as if the structure itself was breathing around them, an unsettling sensation that made their skin crawl, each step taking them further from the safety of their ship and deeper into the belly of the beast, or perhaps the cradle. The silence within was profound, a heavy, ancient hush, broken only by their own measured breathing and the soft scuff of their boots on the organic floor, a silence that pressed in on them, amplifying every rustle of their suits, every beat of their hearts, making the smallest sound echo with unsettling clarity, and occasionally they would pass through vast, hollowed-out chambers, their ceilings lost in the impenetrable darkness above, where stalactite-like formations dripped a clear, viscous liquid that shimmered with faint internal light, pooling in glowing basins below, hinting at complex, unknown biological processes at work, the liquid itself giving off a faint, almost hypnotic hum when Iris's portable sensor was brought close, confirming it was somehow linked to the strange energy source, a vital fluid circulating through the colossal being, nurturing its hidden purpose, and after what felt like an eternity, a journey through the very arteries of a sleeping giant. The energy readings on their devices surged, overwhelming their sensors with a dizzying burst of light and data, confirming they were at the source, at the very heart of the enigma, a destination that filled them with both profound apprehension and an almost desperate need know. They emerged into a cavernous central chamber, a space so immense that the beams of their powerful flashlights barely kissed the distant ceiling. A vast, silent nest, an impossible cradle sculpted from the living rock and ancient light, where the air itself seemed to thrum with a palpable, almost sentient energy, a warmth that was both comforting and subtly unsettling, and at its very heart, bathed in a soft, ethereal glow emanating from within itself, lay a colossal, dormant alien female, ancient beyond imagining, her form so seamlessly integrated with the surrounding architecture, with the very walls and floor of the chamber, that she seemed less a separate entity and more a vital, slumbering organ of the structure itself, her immense body covered in intricate, glowing patterns that pulsed with a slow, deliberate rhythm, reflecting the energy detected earlier, a living tapestry woven from the essence of the nebula itself. Her face, if it could be called that, was serene, ethereal, suggesting a profound peace that had lasted for millennia, a silent guardian of the secrets held within her. Around her, suspended within individual fields of shimmering, vibrant energy, were 8 smaller, yet still substantial embryonic forms, each pulsating with a distinct, otherworldly hue, one a deep amethyst, another a blazing sapphire, a third a swirling emerald, a fourth a blazing ruby, a fifth a swirling obsidian, a sixth a vibrant gold, a seventh a soft, luminescent silver, and an eighth a crackling electric blue, each resonating with a unique energy signature, subtly different yet clearly born of the same incredible source, each a miniature sun of pure, nascent power. And the sight was so overwhelmingly beautiful, so profoundly alien, that the humans found themselves unable to speak, their breaths caught in their throats, their minds struggling to process the impossible tableau before them, realizing that this was no mere derelict, no lifeless ancient ruin, but a mother in a millennia-long gestation, a cosmic womb holding the promise of a new kind of life, a genesis unfolding on a scale incomprehensible to mortal minds, the culmination of a biological process stretching across ages, holding within it the potential for forces beyond human comprehension. Dr. Aris Thorne, usually so articulate, found himself speechless, his scientific mind grappling with the sheer impossibility of what lay before him, his gaze tracing the intricate patterns on the mother's form, then moving to the 8 glowing embryos, each one a unique spectrum of energy, each a testament to a form of life that transcended all known biology, all known physics, and it was, in that moment, overwhelmed by the profound mystery and an unbidden surge of emotion, a mix of childlike wonder and immense reverence, that Aris, almost unconsciously, extended a trembling, gloved hand towards the shimmering barrier surrounding the closest embryo, the one pulsating with the mesmerizing amethyst light, a primal instinct overriding his scientific caution, a silent plea for understanding, a gesture of profound respect for the ancient life unfolding before him. And as his fingertips, encased in the thin material of his glove, gently brushed against the energy field, a sudden powerful surge of raw, unknown power coursed through him, a jolt that wasn't hostile, but profoundly alive, an ancient whisper, awakening within the silence, a connection forged across eons, and the entire chamber seemed to thrum in response, a low, resonant hum that grew steadily louder, faster, the shimmering barriers around the 8 embryos beginning to pulse with an intensified glow, signaling a change, an imminent event that filled the air with crackling anticipation, leaving the human team standing frozen in awe on the very edge of an unimaginable awakening. As the heart of the cradle began to beat faster, its ancient song rising to a crescendo, the gentle brush of Dr. Iris Thorne's gloved fingertips against the shimmering amethyst barrier, an act born of pure, unbidden reverence, reverberated through the ancient chamber like a plucked string, a silent, cosmic tuning fork vibrating with a profound, instantaneous response, as what had seemed an innocuous gesture suddenly, irrevocably, triggered a sequence millennia in the making, dormant for countless eons, now awakening with a speed that defied the concept of elapsed time, an impossible acceleration from silent stasis to explosive genesis, and a soft internal hum, previously almost imperceptible, began to intensify, growing steadily louder, more resonant, filling the vast space with a deep, throbbing vibration that pulsed through the organic floor, up through the soles of the humans' boots, and into their very bones, an increasing pressure in the air, a building tension that made the hairs on their arms stand on end, a primal instinct screaming that something monumental was about to unfold, something that would forever alter their understanding of life, of power, of the universe itself, leaving them frozen in place, a mix of terror and exhilarating wonder, gripping their hearts, their eyes wide, fixed on the colossal, slumbering mother at the chamber's heart and the 8 glowing cocoons suspended around her. The crystalline pathways that formed the chamber's walls, previously emitting a faint internal glow, now flared with an ethereal, blinding brilliance, a cascade of pure incandescent light that chased away every shadow, bathing the immense space in an otherworldly luminescence, transforming the solemn chamber into a vibrant, pulsing kaleidoscope of cosmic energy, and simultaneously, as if drawing strength from this grand awakening, the energy fields around the 8 embryonic forms intensified dramatically, their vibrant hues deepening, swirling with frantic, accelerated rhythms, pulsating with renewed vigor, each cocoon becoming a miniature star, threatening to burst with the contained power within, vibrating so fiercely that the air around them shimmered, distorting the light, creating ripples in the fabric of space itself, causing the Odyssey crew to instinctively shield their eyes against the sudden, overwhelming brilliance, their hearts pounding in their chests like war drums, a frantic rhythm, mirroring the escalating energy surrounding them. Then, with agonizing slowness that belied the speed of the events, the impossible happened. The colossal, ancient mother alien, who had seemed utterly locked in eons of dreamless sleep, her form so integrated with the living architecture that she was part of the very structure itself, her immense body covered in intricate, glowing patterns that had pulsed with a slow, deliberate rhythm, now showed a flicker of life, a subtle, almost imperceptible tremor running through her vast form, and her immense ancient eyelids, heavy with the dust of ages, slowly, majestically, fluttered open for a fleeting, eternal moment, revealing eyes so vast and profound they seemed to contain entire galaxies, pools of primordial wisdom and untold eons of silent observation, and her gaze, deep and filled with the silent knowledge of countless ages, met the startled, awestruck gazes of the human crew, specifically locking onto a Reese, the catalyst in a moment of silent cosmic communication that transcended words, conveying not a message of alarm or anger, but a profound sense of completion, perhaps even a gentle, ancient relief, a quiet acknowledgment of her task fulfilled, of a cycle finally brought to its momentous conclusion, before she slowly, gracefully, irrevocably slipped back into a deeper, permanent slumber, her colossal form settling into a stillness that felt more final, more profound than before, her vibrant glow subtly dimming, her life force seemingly transferred, poured into the new beginnings she had nurtured through countless millennia, leaving behind a husk of infinite wisdom, a silent monument to creation, and a profound sense of emptiness in the wake of her gentle departure. As if on cue, taking their final cue from the mother's fading light, the 8 eggs that had pulsed so intensely began to rupture, not with a violent explosion, but with a sudden, silent burst of shimmering energy, their protective barriers dissolving like mist in sunlight, their contents coalescing not into traditional, fragile alien creatures, but into beings of pure, unadulterated energy and light, forms that were both ethereal and vibrantly substantial, each taking on a semi-corporeal shape reminiscent of their enormous mother, yet distinctly unique in their elemental manifestation, shimmering and reforming in the air above their now empty cocoons, each one a miniature supernova of nascent power, beautiful and terrifying in equal measure, their appearance announcing the arrival of a new unimaginable form of life into the universe, beings born from pure cosmic force, embodying the very elements themselves, unbound by the constraints of flesh and bone, each a living, breathing paradox of ancient wisdom and newborn innocence. The room, already saturated with light from the glowing walls, filled with a chorus of astonished gasps and sharp intakes of breath from the human crew, as each of the newly formed children, now suspended gracefully in the chamber, began to spontaneously display its unique, inherent magical power for the first time, a raw, untamed outpouring of cosmic force, a chaotic symphony of elemental might that defied every known law of physics and pushed the boundaries of human comprehension, for the very air around them crackled with unleashed potential, bending and warping with the sheer, uncontrolled power that now emanated from these newborn entities, the being of deep amethyst light, ethereal and shimmering, extended a hand, and within the chamber distant stars previously invisible twinkled into existence in miniature, swirling constellations that danced and reformed, casting shifting patterns on the walls, a profound manipulation of light and cosmic illusion, while the entity born of blazing sapphire coalesced into swirling, frigid shadow, drawing the very heat from the air with astonishing speed, causing instant frost to bloom on the Odyssey crew's visors, a sudden piercing cold that made them shiver, despite their environmental suits demonstrating a raw command over temperature and energy absorption, a silent, chilling power that promised untold depths of destructive potential. Then the vibrant emerald form, shifting and reshaping like fluid earth, caused the ancient, organic walls of the chamber to ripple and undulate as if the entire colossal structure was breathing, the crystalline pathways shifting and reforming with a slow, deliberate groan, demonstrating a profound connection to and manipulation of solid matter shaping it with effortless grace, its mere presence altering the very environment around them, making the ground beneath their feet tremble with subtle tremors, a silent testament to its growing power over the very foundations of existence. And the blazing ruby, a form of raw, untamed fire, danced in the air, sending waves of intense, yet oddly harmless, heat rippling across the chamber, causing the air to shimmer and distort, miniature suns flaring into existence and then vanishing, leaving behind trails of superheated air, demonstrating an absolute dominion over thermal energy, a terrifying and beautiful control over the very essence of combustion, while the swirling obsidian entity, a being of pure, compressed darkness, seemed to absorb all light around it, creating localized pockets of absolute void where not even the chamber's own luminescence dared to penetrate, revealing a mastery over absence, a power to create nothingness itself, to erase light and matter with a thought, a chilling display that made the security officers instinctively reach for their holstered weapons, though they knew such primitive tools would be useless against such forces. The vibrant gold form, a being of pure sound and vibration, resonated with a silent hum that only the ship's advanced audio sensors could fully register, but which caused a strange, pleasant tingle through the humans' bodies, a harmonious frequency that seemed to calm the rising panic, demonstrating a mastery over sonic energy and resonance, capable of both subtle influence and potentially destructive harmonic vibrations, a power that could shatter mountains or lull worlds to sleep, while the soft, luminescent silver entity, a being of pure, flowing water, caused droplets of shimmering, living liquid to form from the very air, coalescing into intricate, flowing sculptures that defied gravity, then dissolving back into nothingness, demonstrating an absolute command over liquids, over the very essence of flow and formlessness, a power that could sculpt oceans or distill galaxies, beautiful and fluid, yet with an implied force that could drown worlds. And finally, the crackling, electric blue being, a form of pure, raw lightning, sent controlled arcs of brilliant energy dancing through the air, harmlessly striking the walls and floor, illuminating the chamber in brilliant, fleeting flashes, demonstrating a complete dominion over electricity and plasma, a power that could light up a planet or tear apart a starship with a single furious thought. The human crew stood transfixed, utterly overwhelmed by a display of forces that not only defied every known law of physics, but seemed to mock them, bending reality to their nascent will, a chaotic ballet of raw cosmic power emanating from beings that, despite their immense capabilities, possessed an unnerving innocence, their movements curious, exploratory, like newborns discovering their own limbs for the first time, yet those limbs could reshape matter, conjure light, or freeze the very air, and Commander Rostova, shaking off her initial stupor, realized with a chilling clarity that they were witnessing not just a scientific marvel, but a profound shift in the cosmic balance, the birth of beings whose powers were beyond human comprehension, beings who could, with a mere flick of an unknowing finger, obliterate them, their ship, or even reshape the very nebula around them. And the thought sent a cold shiver down her spine, a profound sense of vulnerability in the face of such raw, untamed might, yet also an undeniable surge of excitement, for this was the moment of genesis, the turning point, a terrifyingly beautiful, spectacle that promised to forever change humanity's place in the cosmos, leaving them suspended in a world of alien magic and profound wonder, uncertain whether these newborns were a blessing or a curse, but undeniably, irrevocably entwined with their destiny, their hearts pounding not just with fear, but with the dizzying, terrifying thrill of being present at the very beginning of something utterly, unimaginably new. The cacophony of unleashed elemental power gradually subsided, leaving the human crew of the Odyssey in a profound, almost stunned silence, their senses still reeling from the impossible spectacle they had just witnessed, their eyes struggling to adjust from the blinding flashes of light and the shimmering distortions of energy that had filled the chamber, their minds racing, desperately attempting to reconcile the raw, untamed forces they had seen with everything. They understood about physics, about life, about reality itself, yet no previous knowledge, no scientific theory could possibly explain the vibrant, elemental beings now gracefully suspended in the cavernous space around them, their forms shimmering, with their inherent powers still emanating residual energy, but with a growing sense of curiosity rather than chaotic abandon. Commander Eva Rostova, her heart still thrumming with a mixture of terror and awe, slowly lowered the arm she had instinctively raised to shield her eyes, her gaze sweeping across the 8 star children, their movements now less erratic, more exploratory, like nascent, curious infants discovering their own astonishing capabilities. Their eyes, luminous pools of color reflecting their elemental nature, gazing at the humans with a profound, innocent wonder, a silent question in their depths that seemed to ask, "What are you? And what is this place?" Questions that resonated deeply with the core of humanity's own eternal quest. Initially, a primal instinct for self-preservation urged the human crew to retreat, to fall back to the safety of the Odyssey, to fortify their position against these beings whose mere existence was a challenge to their understanding of power, their every fiber screaming for caution in the face of such raw, untamed might, for one subtle shift in the light being's form could blind them permanently. One unconscious ripple from the Earth Child could shatter the very ground beneath their feet, yet something held them rooted to the spot, a profound sense of connection to these newly born entities, a feeling that transcended fear and embraced the monumental significance of the moment, realizing that these were not hostile invaders, but vulnerable, incredibly powerful infants, born into a universe they did not yet comprehend. Their powers, immense and terrifying, yes, but their intentions innocent, driven by instinct rather than malice, like a newborn cub with the strength of a fully grown lion, oblivious to the destructive potential of its own playful swipe, and Rostova, with a flash of profound insight that cut through the lingering adrenaline, realized with chilling clarity that these beings represented not just a scientific marvel, but an unimaginable responsibility, a cosmic genesis that humanity had inadvertently triggered, and now, by fate or design, were entwined with Dr. Harris Thorne, his usual scientific detachment replaced by a deep, almost paternal fascination, was the first to act, his background in xenolinguistics now proving invaluable, for he understood that conventional communication, spoken words or written symbols, would be meaningless to beings born moments ago from pure cosmic energy, and so he began, not with language but with universal principles, patterns, Light, sound, mathematics, things that transcended species and culture, things that were woven into the very fabric of the universe itself, and he extended his empty, gloved hand towards the being of pure light, its form shimmering like a living aurora borealis, and slowly, deliberately, he began to trace simple geometric patterns in the air with his finger, drawing spirals, then circles, then triangles, movements that were gentle, non-threatening, and filled with a silent invitation to engage, to understand, to bridge the impossible chasm between human and star-child. A fragile olive branch offered in the void, a silent plea for connection. To the astonishment of the entire crew, the being of light, its form subtly shifting, its luminous eyes fixed on Ares's movements, responded, mimicking his intricate light patterns with breathtaking speed and flawless precision, its own shimmering, hand mirroring his movements perfectly, then adding a complex, multi-layered fractal design that pulsed with an intelligence that defied its apparent infancy, demonstrating a rapid capacity for learning and understanding far beyond any known species, a clear indication that these were not merely creatures of instinct, but beings with an inherent vast intellect, capable of processing information at light speed, absorbing knowledge with frightening efficiency, a realization that sent a fresh wave of wonder through the humans, solidifying the profound truth that they were in the presence of something truly extraordinary, something that could either uplift or utterly destroy Dot as this silent dialogue of light unfolded. Another of the children, the one made of pure flowing water, its form shimmering like a living cascade, drifted closer to the Odyssey's docking hatch, its luminous gaze seemingly drawn to the subtle warp in the ship's hull, a slight deformation, caused inadvertently by its earlier, untamed burst of power, and with a delicate, almost hesitant movement it extended a translucent, fluid hand, its fingers like shifting currents, and gently touched the damaged metal, and to the utter disbelief of the engineers, the warped section of the Odyssey's hull began to slowly, seamlessly reform itself, the metal flowing back into its original shape as if it were liquid, the surface becoming smooth and unblemished once more, demonstrating an effortless, instinctive mastery over matter itself, an innate ability to manipulate the very atoms of the ship's structure, a power that could reshape worlds, mend wounds, or, if untamed, tear apart mountains with a thought. And the security officers, Cale and Lena, who had been tensed for any sign of aggression, now exchanged glances, their expressions shifting from wary readiness to open-mouthed awe, understanding that their weapons were not just useless but irrelevant in the face of such incredible, nascent power. Commander Rostova, witnessing these astonishing interactions, felt a profound shift within her. Her immediate goal, previously driven by scientific study and cautious analysis, transformed entirely. It was no longer about observing, but about guardianship. These beings, innocent yet immensely powerful, needed protection, guidance, and a safe haven to understand and control their abilities, to prevent their untamed powers from causing catastrophic galactic instability, perhaps even to themselves, for a child playing with a supernova could inadvertently unleash unimaginable destruction. And she knew with an absolute certainty that humanity uniquely possessed the empathy, the nurturing instinct, the capacity for compassion that these elemental newborns required, a profound sense of responsibility settling over her shoulders, heavier than any command she had ever issued, but also more meaningful, more vital, for the future of these star children, and perhaps the galaxy itself, now rested in their hands. The remaining star children, sensing the shift in the humans' intentions, in their very emotional aura, began to cautiously approach, their forms still radiating their elemental powers, but with a newfound gentleness, their luminous eyes studying the humans with an intense, innocent curiosity, and the Earth-child, its body rippling with subtle movements, gently touched the floor of the chamber, causing a small, perfect crystalline flower to sprout from the organic surface, its petals glowing with a soft inner light, a silent offering of beauty and creation, while the fire being, its form flickering like a contained star, extended a hand, and a small luminous orb of pure, harmless flame danced between its fingers, twirling in intricate patterns, a playful display of immense power held in delicate control, and the obsidian child, previously so chilling in its command of void, now created delicate, miniature shadows that mimicked the humans' movements, dancing around their feet like playful sprites. A subtle, almost shy display of its mastery over light and absence, a surprising lightness to its terrifying power, Dr. Aris Thorne, heart swelling with a mix of wonder and a deep sense of connection, understood that these were not just beings of power, but beings of immense potential, capable of learning, of connection, of empathy, and he began to communicate more directly, still using universal patterns, but now infused with a deliberate warmth, a clear intention of friendship and protection, of shared understanding, and slowly, painstakingly, a rudimentary, non-verbal dialogue began to form, a bridge-built not of words, but of shared gestures, of light and shadow, of subtle energies and intuitive understanding, as the star children, incredibly receptive, began to mimic the humans' non-threatening postures, their open hands, their soft gazes, their forms radiating a nascent trust, a fragile bond forming in the echoing silence of the ancient cradle, a bond that transcended species and power, forged in the crucible of curiosity, and a shared moment of genesis, a truly alien connection. The realization settled over the crew. They had not merely discovered a marvel. They had become accidental midwives to a new cosmic genesis, their small human vessel now a sanctuary, their crew unlikely guardians, entrusted with the future of these incredibly powerful, yet vulnerable, beings, and Commander Rostova, looking at her team, their faces reflecting awe, trepidation, and a burgeoning sense of profound purpose, knew that their mission had irrevocably changed, that they were no longer just explorers, but protectors, teachers, and perhaps friends to a form of life that held the very keys to the universe in their nascent hands. Their simple human empathy now their greatest strength, their quiet compassion the most powerful force they possessed, forging an unbreakable bond in the starlight of the cosmic cradle, a bond that would ripple through the galaxy forever changing the destiny of both humanity and the newly born star children, leaving them suspended in a terrifyingly beautiful moment of responsibility and immense, humbling promise, aware that their future, and perhaps the future of the cosmos, was now irrevocably intertwined with the 8 glowing beings that danced around them, the fragile yet immensely powerful children of the void. Despite the Odyssey crew's meticulous and desperate efforts to control the flow of information, to sanitize the incredible truth of their discovery, to shield the profound secret of the Star Children from the prying eyes and grasping hands of the wider galactic community. News of the unprecedented genesis slowly, inevitably began to filter back to Earth, then like a ripple across a pond to the diverse, complex network of alien species that populated the known cosmos, spreading first as hushed whispers among diplomatic envoys and intelligence agencies, then growing into louder, more frantic discussions in crowded trade hubs and clandestine meetings, until finally the whispers became roars echoing across star systems, the revelation of the progenitor's legacy, igniting a firestorm of mixed, often volatile reactions across the vast galactic stage, a dangerous cocktail of profound awe, intense scientific fascination, bone-chilling fear, and most perilously, unbridled avarice, a hunger for power that transcended morality, driven by the siren call of unimaginable cosmic might. The Odyssey, once a vessel of exploration, now found itself transformed into a diplomatic fortress, a precarious hub of interstellar intrigue and urgent negotiations, its humble human crew unexpectedly thrust into the role of guardians and reluctant liaisons, caught in a swirling vortex of galactic politics, attempting to navigate the treacherous currents of interspecies maneuvering, their every decision carrying the weight of cosmic consequence for the galaxy, now aware of the Star Children, was a powder keg, its fuse lit, and any misstep could lead to devastating interstellar conflict. A war fought not for resources or territory, but for the very essence of creation itself. Some alien species, ancient and benevolent, approached with genuine curiosity, seeking to understand these Star Children and their unique abilities, their scientists dispatching cautious probes and sending encrypted messages of inquiry, their intentions seemingly pure, driven by a thirst for knowledge and a desire for peaceful coexistence. But others, far more numerous and infinitely more dangerous, saw only raw, untapped power, a weapon or a resource of unimaginable value to be exploited. For military might, for galactic dominance, or for untold wealth, their ships, previously unseen, now began to appear on the fringes of the nebula, silent, watchful predators circling their prey, their intentions radiating palpable menace. Commander Rostova, her face etched with a new kind of weariness, but her resolve unyielding, worked tirelessly. With Dr. Aris Thorne, who had, with astonishing speed, deepened his non-verbal communication with the Star Children, fostering a bond of mutual trust and understanding that transcended their physical differences, and through Aris's unique connection, humanity began to understand the Star Children not just as beings of immense power, but as sentient individuals, each with a distinct personality, a nascent consciousness rapidly evolving, each grappling with the enormity of their own existence and the dangerous attention they were now attracting. And this deeper understanding only solidified humanity's resolve to protect them at all costs, demonstrating humanity's unique capacity for empathy, diplomacy, and strategic thinking, often mediating between aggressive factions with carefully chosen words and calculated displays of force, shielding the children from the relentless waves of exploitation, always prioritizing their safety above all else, even above potential scientific breakthroughs or political advantages. The situation escalated dramatically when the Kalari Imperium, a notoriously predatory, an energy-hungry species known for their ruthless expansionism and their insatiable desire to absorb any power source they encountered, launched a full-scale, unprovoked breach of the nebula's outer defenses. Their massive, grotesque warships, bristling with weaponry, tearing through the cosmic cloud, sensing the raw, concentrated power emanating from the cradle of Genesis with a primal hunger. There comes channels flooding with guttural threats and demands for immediate surrender of the newborn energy sources, their arrogance fueling their aggressive approach. The Odyssey crew, though outnumbered and outgunned, stood their ground, their shields shimmering defiantly, their weapon systems locked and ready, their very existence a fragile barrier between the Kalari and the innocent, yet unimaginably powerful star children who, despite their growing understanding, were still vulnerable to direct, overwhelming assault. In an act of unprecedented synergy, a breathtaking display that would be recounted in human and alien lore for millennia. The human crew, working in an almost psychic harmony with the star children who now possessed a rudimentary, yet growing understanding of their protectors' intentions and the grave danger they faced, collectively engineered a formidable defense, a cosmic ballet of human ingenuity and nascent cosmic power. For as the first wave of Kalari assault fighters broke through the Odyssey's outer defensive perimeter, their energy weapons already charging, the gravity manipulator, the star child born of amethyst light, its form now radiating a controlled, focused power, subtle but terrifying in its precision, subtly warped the fabric of space around the invading ships, causing their sleek, deadly vessels to wobble and then spin wildly out of control, their complex navigation systems failing spectacularly, their pilots screaming in confusion as their ships lost all cohesion, twisting upon themselves in impossible angles, their offensive rendered useless by a force they could neither comprehend nor counter, their metallic hulls groaning under the strain of distorted reality, proving that force was not always about raw power, but about elegant, overwhelming control. Simultaneously, the light weaver, the star child born of blazing sapphire, its form now a beacon of controlled, mesmerizing brilliance, conjured intricate, hyper-realistic illusions, creating phantoms of colossal space leviathans, ancient, terrifying beings that seemed to emerge from the nebula itself, then shifting into blinding, disorienting flashes of light that fragmented the Kalari assault, turning their disciplined formations into a chaotic, panicking scramble, their targeting systems overwhelmed by the impossible sensory overload, their pilots disoriented, unable to distinguish friend from foe, their advance shattered by a symphony of visual trickery and psychological warfare that left them vulnerable and reeling, a psychological blow far more potent than any physical damage. Meanwhile, the Earth Child, its emerald form now shimmering with a vibrant solidity, subtly reinforced the Odyssey's weakening shields with localized energy fields drawn directly from the surrounding nebula, a continuous regenerative barrier that pulsed with vibrant green light, making the ship virtually impervious to the Kalari's repeated energy blasts, turning their most powerful weapons into mere annoyances, their frustrated projectiles simply dissipating against the alien-enhanced human defense, a display of defensive power that left the Kalari commanders roaring in disbelief and impotent rage, witnessing their superior firepower rendered utterly meaningless, the fire being its ruby form now a controlled furnace of immense heat, projected focused, harmless thermal waves that fried the Kailari's long-range sensors and communication arrays, effectively blinding and silencing their fleet, severing their ability to coordinate, turning their synchronized attack into a scattered, uncoordinated mess, their ships unable to communicate, unable to track targets, forced to rely on outdated, unreliable manual systems, leaving them floundering in the vast, confusing nebula, while the Obsidian Child, its form a vortex of pure, consuming darkness, created localized pockets of absolute void around the HFY's most dangerous weapon systems, subtly absorbing the very energy from their charging particle cannons and missile launchers, rendering them inert, causing them to flicker and die, unable to draw the necessary power for a strike, a silent, terrifying display of power that neutralized their greatest threats without a single shot fired, a mastery over absence that instilled a deeper fear than any explosion, as the Kellari realized their most potent tools were being inexplicably stolen from them, leaving them helpless. The sound being its vibrant gold form vibrating with a precise, low frequency, emitted a powerful, focused sonic pulse that, while harmless to the Odyssey crew and the Star Children, resonated with the structural weaknesses of the Kalaris capital ships, causing their internal bracing and non-critical systems to subtly groan and buckle, creating widespread internal tremors and minor system failures that added to the chaos and disorientation, forcing their larger vessels to break formation and attend to internal damage, further disrupting their assault, a subtle yet devastating attack on the very integrity of their fleet, while the water being, its silver form a flowing, dynamic river, manipulated the trace water molecules within the HFY ship systems, causing crucial coolant lines to freeze and then thaw, creating rapid temperature fluctuations and critical system overloads, forcing emergency shutdowns and further disrupting their offensive capabilities. A precise, insidious attack that crippled them from within, showcasing a terrifyingly subtle command over the most fundamental elements of life, turning their own ship's systems against them. Finally, the Lightning Child, its electric blue form, crackling with pure, unbridled energy, launched focused, directed arcs of plasma that, rather than striking the Kalari ships directly, instead created powerful electromagnetic pulses around them, scrambling their targeting computers, wiping their navigation logs, and causing widespread system malfunctions, turning their advanced fleet into a collection of sputtering, bewildered hulks unable to mount a cohesive attack, their screens flickering wildly, their engines sputtering, their weapons failing, a final decisive blow that broke their resolve, demonstrating a complete dominion over energy that left the HFY fleet not just defeated, but utterly humiliated, their arrogance shattered by a combined force they could not even begin to comprehend, and the retreat was swift, chaotic, and absolute. The remnants of the Kalari Imperium fleeing back into the dark reaches of space, their ships limping away, their pride and power utterly broken, never to threaten the cradle of Genesis again, leaving behind a silent, victorious nebula, a testament to an unprecedented alliance. It was a breathtaking display of human ingenuity coupled with nascent cosmic power, a symphony of combined strengths, highlighting a new, powerful alliance, an unbreakable bond forged in the crucible of conflict, proving that even against overwhelming, odds the combined force of human will and alien power could stand defiant, ushering in an era where humanity's place in the galaxy would never be questioned again. Their role as guardians and allies cemented by the very starlight they had chosen to protect. The chaotic, desperate retreat of the Kalari Imperium from the cradle of Genesis left a profound silence in its wake, a heavy quiet that was not empty, but filled with the reverberating echo of a battle unlike any seen before in the galaxy, a testament to the impossible alliance forged in the heart of an ancient nebula, a victory won not just by advanced weaponry, but by the seamless, intuitive synergy between human ingenuity and the raw, untamed cosmic power of the Star Children. The lingering energy signatures of the elemental beings, vibrant and alive, pulsed gently through the vast chamber, no longer chaotic, but controlled, focused, a clear indication of their rapid intellectual and emotional maturation, a development profoundly influenced by their interactions with the Odyssey crew, particularly Dr. Aristhorn, who, with patience and boundless curiosity, had nurtured their nascent understanding of their powers, of morality, and of the complex tapestry of the universe beyond their cradle. This unprecedented victory, witnessed by passive observers from across the galaxy and secretly monitored by countless intelligence networks, did more than just repel an aggressor. It solidified an unbreakable, unique bond, a cosmic covenant between the human crew and the Star Children, transforming a chance encounter into a destiny intertwined, establishing humanity not merely as a species of curious explorers, but as capable protectors and, more surprisingly, as nurturing mentors to beings of unimaginable might, no longer mere infants driven purely by instinct. The Star Children had matured at an astonishing rate, their understanding of their incredible powers expanding exponentially, their grasp of the vast universe and its intricate workings deepening with every interaction, every shared moment with their human guardians. Their once chaotic bursts of elemental force now honed into precise, controlled expressions of their will, each a masterful command over their intrinsic element, capable of breathtaking creation as much as subtle defense. And they communicated not just through patterns of light and energy, but with a growing, intuitive empathy, a profound connection that transcended verbal language, allowing them to perceive the emotions, intentions, and even the subtle thoughts of the Odyssey crew, forging a psychic link that baffled even Urus, making collaboration seamless, almost instinctive. They had absorbed lessons on compassion, on diplomacy, on the delicate balance of power, lessons imparted through the quiet strength and unwavering protectiveness of Commander Rostova, through Arisa's patient teachings of universal constants and ethical considerations, through the simple, unwavering kindness shown by every member of the Odyssey crew. Lessons that had resonated deeply within their evolving consciousness, shaping their perception of the cosmos, instilling in them a desire not for conquest or fear, but for understanding and peaceful coexistence, a reflection of the humanity that had embraced them in a momentous decision, one that would forever echo through the annals of galactic history. The Star Children now speaking through a complex symphony of light, vibration, and shared emotion that Aris could interpret with increasing fluency, chose to remain in their nebulous sanctuary, for it was their birthplace, their home, imbued with the fading essence of their ancient mother, a place of profound significance to their very being, but they also chose to transform it, to transcend its function as a mere cradle, intending for it to become a beacon of discovery, a nexus of learning, and a sanctuary for peaceful coexistence for the entire galaxy, a place where knowledge and understanding could be shared without fear, where the mysteries of existence could be explored collaboratively, a living monument to the profound potential of life itself, and they appointed humanity, specifically the Odyssey crew, as their primary liaison, their chosen voice, their bridge to the wider cosmos, a testament to the trust they had placed in their unexpected protectors, a role that filled humanity with a profound sense of responsibility and immense, humbling pride. The cradle of Genesis, as the nebula became universally known, glowed brighter than ever before. Its swirling mists now permeated with the harmonious energies of the star children, transforming it into a vibrant, living entity, a cosmic hearth drawing pilgrims and scholars from across the galaxy, and its inhabitants, the star children, became symbols of a new cosmic dawn, their legend spreading far and wide, inspiring wonder and cautious respect even among species that had initially sought to exploit them, for the tales of their power and their alliance with the resilient humans resonated deeply, forcing many to re-evaluate their own expansionist ambitions, understanding that a new, formidable power, guided by human ethics, had emerged, altering the very power dynamics of the galaxy, shifting the balance from brute force to intelligent collaboration, ushering in an era of unprecedented interspecies understanding and scientific advancement, an era humanity had only dreamed of in its wildest utopian visions. Through their unique, symbiotic relationship with the star children, humanity gained unprecedented insights into the fundamental forces of the universe, unlocking secrets previously thought to be unfathomable, leading to breathtaking breakthroughs in energy manipulation, not just for weaponry, but for sustainable power generation on a planetary scale, for terraforming barren worlds with astonishing speed, for healing ravaged ecosystems, and for creating light and warmth where there was only darkness and cold. They mastered, faster than light travel in ways previously unimaginable, not just jumping through hyperspace, but bending space itself with the subtle guidance of the gravity manipulator, allowing for instantaneous travel across vast cosmic distances, opening up new frontiers for peaceful exploration and interstellar trade, shrinking the galaxy and bringing diverse species closer than ever before, fostering a sense of shared community that began to chip away at ancient rivalries and deep-seated xenophobia. Furthermore, humanity, aided by the Star Children's intuitive grasp of creation, developed a deeper understanding of the very fabric of reality, delving into the mysteries of matter and energy, of consciousness and causality, pushing the boundaries of scientific inquiry into realms once relegated to philosophy and myth, gaining access to knowledge that promised to elevate their species to a new echelon of cosmic awareness, a profound spiritual and intellectual awakening that reshaped their culture, their philosophies, their very purpose. The Odyssey, the humble vessel that had stumbled upon destiny, was no longer just an exploration vessel. It was respectfully designated a permanent research and diplomatic platform, refitted with enhanced Star Child-inspired technologies, acting as the crucial bridge, the vital conduit between humanity, the Star Children, and the burgeoning galactic community, its crew, now legends in their own right, continued their work not as conquerors, but as diplomats, as teachers, as guardians of knowledge, their once solitary mission transformed into a shared journey with beings of immense cosmic power, their lives enriched by a connection that transcended physical form, a profound bond of shared purpose and mutual respect. The security officers, Kale and Lena, once trained for physical threats, now served as guardians of peace, their presence a silent assurance of humanity's commitment to the Star Children's well-being, their roles evolving from combatants to protectors of a sacred trust, their understanding of power shifting from force to guardianship. Dr. Aris Thorne became the galaxy's foremost xenolinguist, his once obscure field of study now at the forefront of interspecies relations, his unique ability to communicate with the Star Children making him an indispensable figure, his patient work laying the foundation for a new galactic lexicon, a language of light, energy, and shared understanding that allowed for true cross-species communication, a powerful tool for peace. And Commander Eva Rostova, her leadership honed by the extraordinary challenges she had faced, evolved into a galactic ambassador of unprecedented influence, her wisdom and integrity respected by both ancient alien civilizations and the newly awakened Star Children, her steady hand guiding humanity through its new role in the cosmic tapestry, ensuring that the power and knowledge gained were used for the betterment of all, for progress, for peace, and never for domination. This extraordinary collaboration, born from human curiosity, empathy, and an unwavering protectiveness, ushered in an era of unparalleled interspecies understanding and scientific advancement across the galaxy, transforming what could have been a catastrophic clash of civilizations into a profound partnership, an alliance that proved that the most powerful forces in the universe were not destructive might, but the bonds of friendship, trust, and shared purpose and humanity. Once a solitary species reaching for the stars, now stood tall, not as conquerors, but as respected allies, as integral participants in the unfolding future of the cosmos, their pivotal and honored role firmly established, forever entwined with the destiny of the magnificent Star Children, whose very existence was a constant reminder of the infinite wonders yet to be discovered, of the endless possibilities that lay ahead in a galaxy now bathed in the glow of a new cosmic dawn, a future where humanity, hand in hand with beings of starlight, would continue to explore, to learn, and to embrace the boundless mysteries of the universe, their hearts filled with the quiet awe of a journey that had just begun. The cradle of Genesis, pulsating softly in the heart of the nebula, remained a silent testament to their shared history, a beacon for all who sought truth and peace, a promise of a future forged in starlight, endlessly unfolding.